Well, welcome everybody to our ninth Coach-a-thon for 2023. I'm so happy and proud to be here with you all and excited to be able to do this presentation with you concerning using Facebook groups to build your business, network, get customers, get prospects, and we have Marcy here tonight with us. She is the vendor liaison, the vendor group expert that I like to call her, and she's going to be helping me out tonight with answering any questions you guys might have concerning the content. And then there'll be a period of time where I'm going to have her go ahead and give us her story, her, I guess you call it, not necessarily her testimony, but her case study, just a little bit about the life that she's led using Facebook groups and the success that she's had, the struggles that she's had, the things she's learned, and so on and so forth. So if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started unless you all had anything you wanted to bring up before I do. Nobody? Okay, I'm going to mute everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So you all should be able to see my screen now. And I'm going to hide me and put me off camera so I don't be in your way. And if the window that you have open, if you put it on speaker only, I think you'll just see the slideshow and you can minimize my face. I'm going to go off camera, so it shouldn't be on there. Just so because I don't like it when the window of who's live on, who's got their cameras on, is in the way of the slideshow. So that's a way that you can move it. If it happens to be in your way, you can just pick it up and move it, or you can minimize it. So we're going to get started. Tonight we're going to have a conversation concerning leveraging Facebook vendor groups for effective networking and sales. And again, as I stipulated earlier, Marcy's here to help us out. So if any of you have a question when I'm presenting these slides, or you have something you'd like to ask or share, feel free to unmute yourself and just jump in and interrupt us. That's fine. I like for these to be engaging, because when you engage, you learn. And if you have a question or something that you're not understanding, please, we want you to have clarity when you leave these meetings. And I have Sandra saying, what are Facebook? Okay, we're going to find out, Sandra. We will be getting into that. So we're going to look at strategies that you can use to connect with potential clients and collaborate with other business owners using Facebook groups. And there is a specific Facebook group that is used called a vendor group, and we will be getting into a little bit more on the details of what a vendor group looks like. So welcome everyone, and today we'll be discussing how to network using Facebook vendor groups. This method is often underutilized, yet it presents an incredible opportunity for direct sales reps and network marketers to be able to connect with new people, find new prospects, and also convert them into customers. And by the end of this presentation, you'll have key strategies that you can use to connect with potential customers seamlessly. So we have groups. Facebook has groups that you can create a group, and you can name it anything you want. There's many multiple ways that you can set a group up. A vendor group is a group that usually is owned by someone. Sometimes multiple people will come together and decide they want to collaborate one with another. Maybe they have products that they sell that enhance other people's products, where they just kind of flow together. They don't collide together, they flow together. They may decide, well, we want to come together and we're going to set up a vendor group where each one of those companies can be represented in that Facebook group, where they would maybe hold weekly, monthly, or whatever hostessing type parties where each vendor is hosting a day in that Facebook group for their products. And I'm going to have Marcy go into a little more detail on that at a later moment. So why choose a Facebook vendor group? With over 2.5 billion active users, Facebook has been given, there's a significant portion of the users that are businesses and entrepreneurs who use Facebook. Facebook is a fertile ground for making targeted connections. Facebook groups are a great place to house your prospects. And as a business owner, you should have your own special group as well. Usually they call them VIP groups, where you can invite your members to those vendor events that you may be participating in. Your Facebook group may contain a party that you put on once a month or once a week, or however you use your Facebook group. It's your group that you can use, that you've got people, members that have raised their hand, they've asked to join your Facebook group, they've given you their permission to provide value and to prospect them, give them offerings, offer them the irresistible deal that they're not going to walk away from your party without making a purchase. Understanding Facebook vendor groups. Facebook vendor groups are communities within Facebook where individuals can promote, buy, and sell their products. Facebook vendor groups are virtual marketplaces segmented based on product types, regions, or interests. Facebook vendor groups have members who are there because of the multiple vendors who invite them. So the members in the vendor group contain prospects. They contain people that, if with the company that you represent, you're connected to, and you invite them into that vendor group and offer them the opportunity to come in one place to look at multiple products, to get multiple products purchased. It makes shopping easier for that prospect. And how to find relevant Facebook vendor groups, you ask? Well, you just log into Facebook like you normally would, and you use the search bar, and you type keywords in the search bar on Facebook that's related to your products. Then on the left side of the screen, you will select the category of groups, and you can filter your location if you want to look for local groups, or you can filter it by product interests. You would review the group if possible and decide if it looks good to join it. Now, as someone who is in network marketing or has direct sales products, you should be wanting to join direct sales advertising groups, because it's in those groups that you can promote your products legitimately without getting in trouble with Facebook, like your profile. On your profile, you can talk about your product, and we recommend you do it maybe 2 times out of every 10 posts, but not back to back, where you can talk about the value of the product, the problem that it solves, how much you love it, what it's done for you, or testimonies from other customers that have used the product. But the direct sales advertising groups, you can actually create what we call adverbs. You can create an ad in there. You can create a post. You can talk about what you are selling and not get in trouble with Facebook. But you always, always, always have to make sure that you're following the guidelines of the Facebook group, regardless of what kind it is. Again, rules and regulations. Emphasizing the necessity to respect and follow the group's rules and guides to maintain a good reputation. Because if you're going to come into a direct sales group or a vendor group and not abide by their guidelines, you're going to get kicked out and you will not be allowed back in. You want to be very respective of the members, respective of the rules, and hold yourself in high integrity as a business owner as well. When participating in a vendor event, make sure when responding to the questions that you don't go too fast. Yes, you want to be actively in that group so that you can take care of those prospects' concerns. But you don't want to go too fast because it'll trigger that algorithm in Facebook and you will get notified by Facebook and you might get kicked out or you may not be able to respond the rest of the time in that group for a period of time. And I was in a 5-day challenge a couple weeks ago where the owner of the group was presenting a content for his challenge and he was using Zoom, but he was streaming Zoom into the Facebook group. So he was live in the Facebook group. And you know, we get on Zoom and I don't know how many of you have been on a webinar that is a Zoom hosted webinar, but on webinars in Zoom, the reaction button down below where you have the thumbs up or a heart or whatever, you can click on it and it'll shoot that information across the front of the screen like it does when someone's on Facebook doing a Facebook Live. And sometimes they'll say, give us some love, and you might hit that heart, you know, a couple of times or whatever. And on Zoom, if you do that, and they were saying, we want to see a lot of love on this and whatever. So I'm hitting that love button, you know, like crazy. And I'm forgetting that I'm actually in Facebook. I'm not on Zoom. And I got tagged by Facebook and this alarm came up and it was like, uh-oh, and I got a check mark next to my name. And it was like, I was really concerned that I was not going to be able to comment in the fields that the presenter was asking questions and he wanted people to answer. But fortunately, I was able to do that. But I guarantee you, it was like, oh, that's right. I got to remind myself I'm not on Zoom. I'm on Facebook. So just pay attention to that when you're on Facebook to not do things too fast because you can get blocked in that group by Facebook if you respond back to back to the prospect's questions. And if you appear available all the time, members might expect an immediate response. And the strain and the tension and the anxiety that can be on someone who is doing presentations in a vendor group where they are presenting their products and someone asks a question and you didn't see it for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours later and you didn't respond immediately, do not overwhelm yourself because as long as you're doing that and connecting, and if that person is active in that group, they will be able to come back and see that you did respond, and they will also get a notification that there was a comment response to their concern. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that as well. And you want to establish trust and credibility, and you will create trust and credibility within the groups by maintaining transparency and sharing product testimonials and reviews. You don't want to be doing the sell, 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 sell. Again, you've got to build trust with those people, the members in that group. They don't know you. Some of them may, but people buy from people. People don't go to a Facebook group to buy products because they do if they're really interested in the type of a product, but they're going to buy from that person that they resonate with. And if they don't resonate with you, they may find another person that sells the same products and buy from them. And if you have pre-screened past customers' questions in events that you've been participating in, you could keep a diary of that information. And when you're creating a content in the vendor group, you could be providing the answers to some of the questions that had come up in a previous group that you were participating in. So you're kind of like looking ahead of the situation and getting questions answered before they ask them, which makes you look like the authority on that specific product. And you want to make your audience feel confident in your knowledge about your products. And that is a really good way of that as well, is making sure that you provide the answer to something that someone else had asked about before, because it shows that you know your products and you know what you're talking about. And you want to remember, trust isn't built overnight, but a consistent effort will pay off in long-term customer loyalty. Communication and engagement strategies. You should be creating your own strategy of communicating when you're using Facebook, whether it's in a group or on your profile or on a business page. You should have a strategy already built within your business. You want to create your strategy on how to interact, initiate conversations, and productively engage with potential clients. You want to make it your strategy. If you're not sure about a strategy, but you see someone using a strategy that feels good to you and you think, I'm going to try to do that, you go ahead and do that, but try to make it your strategy. Try to interject your personality into that strategy and create one that works for you. Keep your conversations about the prospect. Don't make it about you. In other words, you're talking about and to the prospects. You don't want to go with, I this, I that. You want to be talking with the prospect. You want to use your languages of, when was the last time that you looked at your kitchen sink and you just thought, there's no way I'm ever going to get this sink sparkling, shiny, spick and span like it was brand new. Well, I've got a product for you and I want to share this with you and give you a demonstration, or whatever the case may be. So in other words, I could never figure out how I was going to ever get my sink sparkling clean again. So you want to turn that around and make it a conversation where that person is having this thought about the last time that they were able to get their sink sparkling, shining clean, and that you can help them. Make sure you abide by the group rules in all aspects. Again, I cannot say this enough, that it's very, very important that you abide by the Facebook group guidelines. And if you're not sure, when you go in there, open up that section in that group and remind yourself, take notes or whatever, to make sure that if whatever you're going to want to do is allowed in that group. If you're not sure, if you're in a Facebook group, I was in a Facebook group a couple weeks ago where I had something that I wanted to share with the members in the group, but I wasn't sure if that group would allow it. And it was a free opportunity. It wasn't a paid opportunity. And so I just sent the admin a message and I told her, I said, I've got this, and I had been talking about what I was doing and I had a lot of people interested. And I sent her a private message and I said, I'm in this group and I was just curious. I've got a lot of people asking for more information about this. Would it be okay if I create a post with the link to that product? And it was a free opportunity, a free challenge. And she says, no, you can't put any links for any paid products. I said, this is not paid. This is free. It's a free challenge. She said, oh yeah, it's okay then. So even when you may try to ask for permission and you already know, you feel really good that it's something that should be approved, and they say no, go a little bit deeper, give them more information. Some of these admins are super busy with some of these groups and they just don't take the time they need to actually read the message that you provided to them with all of the information that they need to make that decision. And when choosing to connect to one person, comment under their content that you would like to DM them with more information. Get permission. If you're in a group that's not your group and you're talking to people that you don't know, you want to get permission for them to say, yeah, that would be okay. Then you could send them a private message. You don't want to just say, well, I'll DM you. You want to ask them for permission to DM them. Unless, again, Marcy might be able to talk about this later, where some of these vendor group opportunities may already have notified people. If you decide to join this Facebook group, you may get direct messages from some of the vendors if you've commented on a product that you have an interest in, to help you to get the information you need to make your decision. But still, if you don't know if they've done that, then you should always try to ask for permission. Again, we're building relationships, and that's what this is all about. Business is about relationships. It's not about product. The importance of not being overly promotional, but instead focusing on connections and relationship building in Facebook groups. Even though you are in a promotional group, do not sound salesy. Be helpful, provide value, and encouraging. Groups are community. The members want to feel safe in that environment, so be considerate. And I want to say, be considerate of the members as well as the other vendors. Yeah, maybe another vendor is running their day different than you would yours, and you might have a little criticism about it. Well, keep it to yourself. Don't voice it specifically publicly in those Facebook groups. Make sure you're having fun when you're in these groups, because business is an opportunity for you to just have fun. And if you are fun, you want to be fun to work with. Some posting tips. Effective posting strategies, such as using high quality images, crafting engaging descriptions, and leveraging peak times for engagement, can be very beneficial for positive results. Many vendor groups will give you a specific day and time that you are allowed to take your turn. Be gracious and respectful of others' time. If you've agreed to a specific date, day, time for posting your content, abide by that schedule. If something happens, life happens, where you can't abide by the schedule, try to reach out to another vendor and include the admin in if you can make a day and time switch with someone else, or if you need to. It is important the group members know when to expect you to show up in the group. Now, Facebook does have some incredible tools when it comes to groups. And I think sometimes the people that own Facebook groups aren't utilizing those tools as well as they could. One of them is the Facebook Insights, which will measure the reach, the engagement, and the effectiveness of posts. And if you have access to those insights, run those reports and create yourself some form of a reporting system, whether it's Excel that you want to use or just a tracking sheet on the days, the date, the time, and what was happening. It would be very helpful for you with your strategy as you work Facebook groups. Page Insights provide valuable data about your post reach, the engagement, and etc., and helping to inform future marketing decisions for you. But again, this may not be relevant if you are not an admin of that group. Keep track of your own data so you can create a strategy that works for you. So if you're not an admin of that particular group, and the days that you are allowed to promote your products, create yourself again an Excel sheet, or just have a tracking sheet where you're recording day one and how many posts you put up, how many people engaged with it, how many people commented, how many prospects did you get from that event or from that day, how many sales, so on and so forth. And keep track of that so that you can fine tune your strategy for your business. Because each member of that group is a lead for you, and how you handle that member can either convert and create a customer for your business or just create a prospect for your business. Turning group members into customers. Develop a genuine rapport with the members. Keep conversations interesting, engaging, and product-centric. Then transition the chat towards how your product can solve their problem. Be consistent in your actions, be uplifting and helpful. Encourage other vendors as well. And again, I would say if you are part of a vendor group and you are monitoring that group, even on the day when you're not doing your part, engage with the other vendors' products so you can keep that algorithm moving within that group. Because the more activity in the group, the more notifications go out to the members of that group that there's stuff going on in this group over here. They better get over here or they're going to miss out. and it helps people to get excited and they want to participate and be part of community. Now, handling objections and negative feedback. You want to address objections confidently and professionally. Use negative feedback as constructive criticism, and most importantly, respond promptly. Never give negative feedback in the group to other vendors on their content. If you are concerned about their content, just move on. Or find a gift in their content you can respond to. Scaling up your networking efforts. Applying the insights gleaned from one group to other Facebook vendor groups will help you in creating that strategy and the idea of how you can network. Add more groups to your portfolio gradually and customize your approach based on what works best for you. Never leave a group because it starts out less active, because it takes action to create motion. The Facebook algorithm runs off action, engagement, and connection. And as a group member, be active and engaging on all content, not just your content. The more activity, the more Facebook will notify members there is action going on. And again, always remember to abide by the group's rules. So we're going to bring up now Marcy for our case study and success story. So please welcome Marcy in to share her real journey she found to be a success with Facebook using vendor groups.
Hi, ladies. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some little nuggets. I have actually gotten some sales and parties out of a few vendor events that I've done, and it pays to do reoccurring events where it's the same group every time, and you get to know the other vendors that participate with you, and you get to know the people in the group a lot more. Also, you can funnel some of those people that do not purchase into your VIP group, because that's where you are going to get the majority of your interest to buy. They might not buy at the event, but as they see you post more, they'll get to know, like, and trust you. That is a big thing. You want to get people's trust of you. And then you will eventually take some of those people and turn them into a sale or possibly a recruit. I have gotten 2 vendors that signed under me. They were vending something else and they joined Tula 12 because they just fell in love with the planners.
No, they
So
fell
that's
in love with you, Marcy, be honest.
aw, that's a thing that you want to remember too. Like that, funneling people into your group, into the top of your funnel, will help bring them down and possibly get you the sales, or at least they'll help you grow your group even if they never buy. Some people will just comment in your group daily even though they might never use the product.
Sandra, did you get your details you wanted about what are vendor groups? Do you have some questions for her about more specifics on vendor groups? You have to unmute yourself.
I'd never heard the term, so I wasn't sure what it referred to.
Most of them call them an actual vendor event,
Mm-hmm.
and they give you specific dates that you can post, and then the event ends on a certain date. You delete your post, and then it starts up a few days later, if that helps. So a lot of times you get like 6 to 13 days to do your presentation with about like 5 to 7 posts a day.
Mm.
And you have the option to go live as well. So if you have a live presentation, like I do at times, you can definitely, that is a plus too. That gets you more audience.
Mm. Okay.
So if you have health and wellness products that you want to display to the people that would be members of that group, then you would have a day when you would be able to display your products, talk about them, and pretty much try to sell your products in that vendor group just for
Right.
that day or that week or whatever, depending on the period of time that event is taking place. Marcy, what's the norm? Do they run 2 to 3 days, or do they just like run one day a week, or?
No, it's usually either 6 days or 13 days. So
Okay.
it's a full week basically, or 2 weeks.
And then does each vendor have the opportunity to promote their product every day, but just at different times?
Yes, yes. The times are usually not planned out in most events. Some are. They have like groups where people post certain times depending on what you choose. And some even have scheduled game days where you post in between your regular posts fun games or interactive posts, like can you make a word with a certain saying, or guess how many pens are in this tote, or whatever it is.
And how many, what are some of the restrictions that are in that group for the vendors that the admins require?
Mostly the restrictions are you have to do a certain amount of invites. Mostly are like 15 or 20. So you have to invite potential customers into the group. And most of them you can't post your shopping link unless it's in the comments because Facebook doesn't like
Really?
a lot of links. A lot of links will get dinged as spam, or like what happened, it was about a week ago, they took every post down that had a Tupperware link. So that was like millions of posts gone.
The Tupperware link, like the website, the URL
Yeah.
was
Yep.
was above the photo of the product in the post?
Correct.
Do you
Correct.
do you know if they have the admin assist turned on and that might have been what was triggered?
No, because it was Facebook wide, it was every single Tupperware rep and every single post with that link.
Okay.
So something triggered it in their system, and it happened with other companies such as Plunder Jewelry and a few others. People were getting dinged. So a lot of groups say just post it in the comments so it doesn't ding it.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. Okay. Um, how difficult is it to find vendor groups that are taking on new vendors?
It's very easy if you belong to a direct sales advertising group because vendor event owners or admins, should I say, will post ads for it on a daily basis in ad groups.
Okay. Okay. Anybody
And
else?
then,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
and
ahead.
sometimes an admin will have more than one group that they run. and you can get into more than one of their groups. So it gives you more of an opportunity.
Okay. Okay. If you are participating in a vendor group activity, do you do any posting in direct sales groups, notifying them that there's a vendor group action happening that you'd like to invite people to, or anything like that? Or how do you find the people you want to invite to attend that vendor group that you're participating
A lot of times I share the link in my stories,
in? Okay.
and people can join from there, or you just, sometimes they tell you just hit the invite button and
Mhm.
you go down your list and invite certain people.
Mhm.
But you don't want to do that too fast, ladies.
Yeah.
When you're inviting, be selective and wait at least 5 to 10 seconds in between. Don't just rush, 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 or you can wind up in Facebook jail.
Okay. When you do the invites, do you send a private message to the person letting them know why you're inviting them to the group?
I usually do not, because I'm in so many, it would take too long.
Okay.
But for some people, they do that because they're only in like one a week, and they invite you through message. Personally, I'd rather them just hit the invite button and I can decide to join or not, because I don't like getting my inbox spammed with too much of it.
Okay, because I know when you send an invite to someone to join a Facebook group, a lot of people don't even get the notifications. I mean, I hardly ever see a notification, and I know I'm invited to Facebook groups all the time. So
Right. I
unless I know I'm expecting an invite from someone, I'll even have to go back to them and say, I thought you invited me to your group. I don't see a link. And so they'll have to go and give me the link and set it to me in Messenger so I can
right.
find it so I can join the group. And I know that might be something that somebody might need to think about, because you could be sending a bunch of vendor or Facebook group invites to people and they don't even know they're getting invited. And I know you can only do it so long, because that invite will sit in that Facebook group for, I think it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks before Facebook will take it down. And so just something to think about.
It's 27 days, I believe.
Yeah, I know it's quite a bit.
That and they get to view the group
Mm-hmm.
before they join if they choose to.
Right. Yeah. 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 But like I say, I don't even see the Facebook group invites anymore in my notifications at all. So,
Right. I don't get very many either. There's settings too that people can choose in their settings to get less notifications.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else got any questions for Marcy on vendor groups or how to use groups, Facebook groups to network and promote yourself? No? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to my slides and we'll finish up here. So to summarize your do's and don'ts, reiterate the main points of the discussion and emphasize the best practices and common pitfalls in using Facebook vendor groups for networking. I think that Marcy kind of covered it pretty well here, with pretty much just know exactly what their rules are. Make sure you follow them and make sure the action steps that you're taking aren't too fast. And make sure you pay attention to your behavior patterns in the group, be respectful, make sure that you're positive and that you're producing good results. and block any sarcastic mindset that tries to crash in, such as there are too many vendors with like products in this group. You just have to play with it. You have to practice with it and just find ways to work with vendor groups if you want to use that as part of your business growing strategy. Remember, it is not about the product. It's about the who, and be likable. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. I hope you will implement these strategies and optimize your networking event efforts using Facebook vendor groups if it's appropriate for your business. And remember, the key is consistency and authenticity. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Everybody want to come off?
I do have a few more tips.
Okay.
It will be brief. When you do your presentation, do not just take something that your upline gives you and copy and paste it as your post. Put yourself into what you do. Make it your own. Add your personality and show as much of yourself using said product and how your results are, as opposed to just a bunch of testimonials or from copy and paste from others. The more that you post the same as others, the more you'll could get dinged by Facebook, and the less people are going to trust that you know about the product.
Thank you. That's very good. Anything else, Marcy?
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you very much. Anybody else want to ask any questions or need clarification, clarity?
I have a question.
Okay.
In a situation like this, is it possible for you to sit in on one of these vendor groups just to see how they operate?
Absolutely. And I would be happy to invite you to one anytime.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love to see. I'd love that. Thank you.
So if you're not friends with Marcy, Sandra, just go ahead and connect with her on Facebook, and she's in my Facebook group. So you can, Marcy,
Okay.
maybe Marcy will send you a private message or a friend request or something.
Okay, definitely. I do that.
Together. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you both. All right,
Thank you.
ladies.
Appreciate everybody.
All right. I have to get dinner for my dad. He's feeling a little bit better now, and he
Okay.
postponed his dinner time so that I can be on this meeting and
Tell
not
him
be
he's a very sweet man.
So thank you. I let him know that.
So
So
glad he's feeling better.
Yeah.
I'm glad too. I'm glad too. It's a relief for both of us. All right, guys.